Life Prizes is indebted to 4 special people who took on the daunting task of recommending 6 winners from over 100 nominations that were submitted. Serving on the Awards Selection Advisory Committee are His Excellency Charles Chaput, Archbishop of Denver, Reverend Alveda King. She's the niece of Martin Luther King Jr. and founder of King for America. Former U.S. Ambassador to the Vatican, Raymond Flynn, and the architect of the Born Alive Infants Protection Act, Professor Hadley Arkus of Amherst College. Now, I believe that Reverend King and Professor Arkus are with us tonight, and I will ask both of them to stand, if you could, so that we can recognize both of you. Alveda, how are you? And now back to the awards. Kay Coles James' whole life really is a testament to the pro-life cause. Common wisdom would have suggested that Kay herself should have been aborted, born as she was to a family suffering from such poverty that she was born on a kitchen table. Yet this special lady would rise from her humble beginnings and go on to serve governors and presidents, bringing her pro-life advocacy to the highest levels of government. She and her husband Charles have worked to advance the pro-life cause for 3 decades. As founders of both a pregnancy resource center and Black Americans for Life, they were pro-life pioneers to the African American community. Today, they run the Gloucester Institute, an outreach and education initiative for young African Americans focused on developing solutions for the challenges facing communities today. And they also help them utilize lessons learned from the civil rights movement, including a recognition that the first civil right is life itself. As Kay and Charles know, Life Prizes wanted to award both of them with this prize, but at the time of the prize announcement, Charles was a full-time government employee. Nevertheless, we want to acknowledge you, Charles, and thank you for all you do and have done for the pro-life cause. Now, for her lifelong advocacy for the unborn child, Kay Coles James is awarded the 2008 Life Prize.
I had no desire to step into this most controversial issue, but my young son had seen some of the materials that I brought home from a crisis pregnancy center, a caring center, and when he looked at those pictures of babies whose lives had been lost, he said, "Mom, why don't you and Daddy make them stop?" And I promised him that if I was ever given the opportunity to do anything, I would. And so when the call came from National Right to Life to ask if I would go on this national television program to debate, I told him no, then came home foolishly and explained that to my son and to my husband. And this little voice came from the other end of the dinner table that said, "But Mommy, you promised." And that's when I called the National Right to Life, who had previously asked me to do a debate on national television.
She was just terrific. She was a tremendous person to represent the pro-life cause to the public, and she inspired pro-lifers.
And in answer to your question before the break, yes, I do in fact believe that abortion is a very real problem in the African.
I was scared to death to stand on a stage and speak. I didn't think that I had anything to contribute at all. But I guess what I would say by way of encouragement is you have no idea the impact that you can have by just making yourself available.
You know, she's had an impact on everything that she's touched. And I think, again, the reason is because of her ability to draw draw people into relationships.
We all have our place in building a culture of life. Some are activists, some are involved in education, some are involved in the political arena, and some of us are called into government to stand in the gap. And that's where my calling was.
When assembling the cabinet, clearly the very best person to lead for Health and Human Resources was Kay Coles James, because Kay, not only is she's strong and articulate and all the great attributes, she's actually lived the life and started off in a very tough situation.
And my life was a gift from God to my mom and to my family. And so, you know, over the years I've been able to see that even those beginnings, that humble beginning of being born on a kitchen table to a welfare mother and an alcoholic father, set the stage for what God would do with my life later. I want to encourage pro-life people that when they work hard to welcome those children into the world, that just maybe, they'll grow up and have the opportunity to do so many of the wonderful things that I've had the opportunity to
do. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kay and Charles James.
Wow. Welfare mother, alcoholic father, born into poverty on a kitchen table. Yes, I was that child. Actually, lucky to be born at all. Mr. Ruddy asked me to explain to you how I got from that place, from that humble upbringing, to be George Allen's Secretary of Health and Human Resources, and to have the privilege of serving United States presidents. I'm not certain I know that answer, but let me advance just two major strategies that worked for us and hopefully will work for you. Number one, I encourage you to pick an important issue to work on, and given my background and my fortune to be alive, it was easy for me. I chose life. All other rights are meaningless if we cannot survive long enough to enjoy them. While you could choose to fight in many important arenas, there's none more important than protecting the value, the dignity, and the sanctity of human life. And so my challenge to you is to dedicate your life to the most important civil rights issue of our day, the right to life. And I guess my second piece of encouragement to you would be just dig in and work hard. Many years ago, with the encouragement of our children, Charles and I decided that we would put feet to our faith and get in the arena and get involved in the pro-life movement. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, and who occasionally errs and comes up short again and again, but who in the end knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. We wanted that person, our hero, Theodore Roosevelt, we wanted to make him proud and to be those people. The award will be used by the Gloucester Institute to help you, the young people of America. We want to help identify, train, mentor, educate, and launch the next generation of leadership. America is a great country and it deserves great leadership. At the Gloucester Institute, we seek to expose young emerging leaders to life-changing ideas, people, and events. Our desire is to challenge conventional wisdom
with critical thinking, and produce leaders with clarity of thought, strong moral character, and prepared to enter the pro-life arena and help with important social issues. There is so much left to be done, and so Charles and I want to encourage you to please carry on. Thank you.